Have you ever stopped to consider the sheer, well, the raw power of your own thoughts?
Hmm.
This idea that your mindset, your deepest beliefs, don't just influence your reality, but actually shape it, steering you towards, well, maybe extraordinary success.
It's a huge concept, isn't it? Almost sounds too simple, but the implications are massive for anyone trying to really achieve their goals.
Absolutely. So today we're diving deep into what many people call the classic, the sort of foundational text for this whole philosophy, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Subtitled A Timeless Success Philosophy.
Right. And importantly, our deep dive today comes directly from excerpts of the book itself. So we're getting it straight from the source, unfiltered.
Yeah, our goal here is really to pull out the most powerful ideas, the key insights from this really foundational work.
We want to give you a clear path to understanding its impact, its core principles, maybe without feeling overwhelmed by, the sheer volume of it.
And maybe uncover some surprising facts along the way.
Okay, let's unpack this then. This isn't just any book about success, is it? It's often called the grandfather of modern personal development literature.
It really is. And the origin story is just fascinating. It was actually commissioned.
Commissioned?
By who? By Andrew Carnegie,
Yeah.
the industrialist legend himself. He basically challenged Hill to spend decades studying the secrets of success.
Decades. Wow. And Hill really ran with that challenge, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. More than ran with it. He spent over 25 years interviewing, get this, more than 500 of the most successful, most influential people of the early 20th century.
That's incredible. Who are we talking about?
I mean, legends. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, John D. Rockefeller. It's like getting mentorship directly from the people who built modern America.
That level of research is just staggering. And from all that, from those minds, the book's core idea is that success really starts with a thought.
Exactly. That by mastering your thoughts, your beliefs, your whole mindset, you can actually manifest tangible things like wealth, power, significant personal achievement.
And crucially, while wealth is often the focus in the title and discussion, the principles aren't just about money, right?
Not at all. That's key. Hill makes it clear these principles apply to achieving any kind of success. You're aiming for relationships, health, creative pursuits, anything.
So Hill basically synthesized all this wisdom he gathered. He found the common threads in how these successful people thought and acted.
Pretty much. And then he organized it all into this philosophy, these steps that anyone could potentially follow.
And he structured that around 13 core principles. He saw them as building blocks, didn't he? Designed to work together.
Yes, an interconnected system, not just isolated ideas.
Okay, let's start digging into those foundations. What's the very first one?
The first one, the starting point of everything, is desire. And Hill was clear. This isn't just mild wanting.
Oh, no.
No, it's about defining clear goals, especially financial ones in the book's context, and developing this burning, almost obsessive desire for them. That intensity, that specificity is what he saw as the spark.
A hunger that kind of reorganizes everything towards that goal. Okay, so you have this burning desire. What's next? Hill says you need faith.
Right, a deep, unwavering belief in your ability to actually achieve that desire.
But how do you build that, especially when you're facing doubts or setbacks? That seems like the hard part.
Well, that's where the next principle, autosuggestion, comes in. It's the practical tool for building that faith.
Ah, okay, like programming your mind.
Exactly. Think of it like feeding affirmations or visualizations to your subconscious mind over and over with real feeling behind them. You're essentially training your subconscious to accept your goal as achievable as reality.
So it starts guiding you, maybe even subconsciously. Interesting. Okay, what follows that?
Next up is specialized knowledge. Hill made a really important distinction here.
Between general knowledge and
focused, applied, specialized knowledge. He argued that just knowing a lot of general stuff isn't what drives real success. You need deep, practical knowledge in your specific field or related to your specific goal. You need to be an expert, or at least know how to access expert knowledge.
That makes sense. You can't just wish for it. You need the know-how.
Precisely. And that specialized knowledge needs to be put to use, which leads directly into imagination.
The workshop of the mind, as he called it.
Yeah. He saw imagination as the critical faculty that transforms your desire, fueled by knowledge, into concrete ideas and actionable plans. He even broke it down into synthetic imagination, combining old ideas in new ways, and creative imagination.
Creative imagination being tapping into something bigger.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Tapping into novel ideas, maybe from the subconscious or what he called infinite intelligence. It's about generating those breakthrough concepts.
Okay, so you've imagined the plan. But imagination isn't enough.
Definitely not. Which brings us to principle number 6, organized planning. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Right. You absolutely need a concrete, detailed plan to back up your goals.
Hill stresses that action is vital. Thought alone isn't enough. Without a solid plan, that burning desire just stays a wish, a fantasy.
Got it. Plan your work your plan. What comes after planning?
Decision. This is the big one. Hill observed that successful people are incredibly decisive.
They don't waffle.
Exactly. They make decisions quickly and firmly. They might change them later if needed, but they don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Indecision, he warned, breeds doubt and is a major pathway to failure.
That resonates. Making a choice and moving forward. But what happens when you hit obstacles? Because you will.
Ah, yes, that leads straight into persistence. This is non-negotiable, according to Hill.
You just have to keep going.
Absolutely. You must persist through failure, through rejection, through temporary defeat. He famously said something like, quitting is the enemy of success. You just don't stop.
That takes serious willpower. Okay, persistence. What's next?
Then we get to a really interesting one, the power of the mastermind.
The mastermind. This isn't just about having smart friends, is it?
No, it's more profound than that. Hill's concept was that when 2 or more people align their minds in a spirit of harmony towards a definite purpose, they create a sort of third mind.
A third mind, like a collective intelligence.
Exactly, a synergy that unlocks insights, creativity, and power far beyond what any individual member could achieve alone. It's about collaborative energy focused on a goal.
Wow, that's a powerful idea. Okay, now the next one often raises eyebrows, I think. The mystery of sex transmutation.
Yes, this one definitely gets people talking. And it sounds a bit unusual to modern ears, perhaps.
So what was Hill really getting at here? It's not just about sex, is it?
No, not directly. Hill believed that sexual energy is one of the most powerful human drives. His idea was that this potent energy, this life force, could be consciously redirected, transmuted from purely physical expression into other creative or productive outlets.
So channeling that drive into your work or your ambitions.
Precisely. Fueling your genius, your drive, your passion for your goals by consciously redirecting that powerful energy. He saw it as a source of heightened creativity and motivation, not suppression, but purposeful channeling.
Interesting. A very unique take. Okay, moving on from that, what's next?
We get to the subconscious mind. Hill really emphasized its power.
How so?
He explained that your subconscious essentially accepts whatever thoughts and beliefs you consistently feed it, whether they're positive or negative, and treats them as truth.
So you have to be careful what you're feeding it.
Critically important.
Yeah.
You need to consciously impress upon it positivity, confidence, the vision of your success, because your subconscious will then work tirelessly behind the scenes to manifest those beliefs into your reality.
It's like the operating system running in the background.
A great analogy.
Yeah.
And closely related is the brain.
How did he view the brain?
He used this analogy of the brain as both a broadcasting and receiving station for thought vibrations.
Thought vibrations. Okay, that sounds a bit esoteric.
It does lean that way. But his point was that your dominant thoughts and emotions create a kind of mental frequency. To achieve success, you need to consciously tune your brain through focus, positive emotion, applying the other principles to align with the frequency of your goals, attracting similar thoughts and opportunities.
Like tuning a radio. Got it. Okay, that's 12 principles. What happens when you master all of these? What's the final one?
The final principle, the pinnacle, is the sixth sense.
The sixth sense. Are we talking psychic powers here?
Not really in the way we might think today. Hill described it more as a highly developed intuition, a sort of gut feeling or connection to a higher awareness, maybe that infinite intelligence he mentioned.
So it's something that emerges naturally after mastering the others.
That was his idea, that by consistently applying the other principles, your mind, particularly your subconscious, becomes so attuned to your purpose that it can provide flashes of insight, warnings, opportune ideas, almost like a direct line to creative solutions or guidance. It's the culmination of the whole process.
It really does sound like he saw these as interconnected steps, building on each other.
Absolutely. Mastering one strengthens the others.
Right.
It's a synergistic system.
So let's step back a bit. This book was written, what, in the 1930s? Why do you think it still resonates so strongly today, almost a century later?
Well, I think a big part of it is the timeless wisdom. Honestly, the core ideas, a mindset, belief, planning, persistence, they just don't go out of style. They're fundamental human principles for achievement.
They transcend the era it was written in.
Completely. And it offers such a powerful mindset shift. It really forces you, the reader, Take ownership.
Take responsibility for your outcomes.
Yes. To realize your external world often mirrors your internal one. It puts the power squarely back in your court, which is incredibly empowering.
And the tone itself is quite something. It's very motivational.
Oh, definitely. Its inspirational tone is a huge factor. It reads less like a dry textbook and more like a direct, passionate appeal to your highest ambitions, while also acknowledging your doubts.
Yeah, it kind of speaks right to you. Plus, there's that historical value we touched on earlier.
Right, getting insight into the thinking of Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. It's like having these historical giants as mentors. That's pretty compelling.
It really is. Now, as much as it's praised, no work is perfect. Are there common criticisms or maybe nuances we should be aware of when approaching it today?
That's a fair question. And yes, there are a few things people often point out.
Like what?
Well, one is simply the dated language and references. The writing style is definitely of its time, a bit formal, sometimes verbose, and some 1930s business examples might feel a bit, distant.
Sure, that's understandable given when it was written. What else?
There's also the critique regarding a perceived lack of scientific rigor, particularly around concepts like thought vibrations or the sixth sense.
Right, those aren't exactly terms you hear in modern psychology labs.
Exactly. It's important to frame them as philosophical insights or metaphors based on Hill's observations and interviews, not hard science. Some critics feel it edges toward pseudoscience in places.
Okay. Anything else?
Some argue there's a potential overemphasis on thinking over action. While Hill definitely includes organized planning and implies action, the sheer focus on thought and belief might, for some readers, overshadow the necessity of actually doing the work.
So a potential pitfall is thinking you can just think your way to success without the massive action required.
Potentially, yeah, if you don't grasp that the thinking is meant to fuel and direct the action. And finally, there can be a bit of ambiguity in application.
Meaning it's not always a clear step-by-step guide.
Right. It's more philosophical. The principles are profound, but figuring out the precise how-to for your specific situation often requires interpretation and personal effort. It's not always paint by numbers.
That makes sense. It requires active engagement, not passive reading.
Definitely.
So considering all the power, the history, the nuances, who should really take the time to dive into Think and Grow Rich? Who is this book or this deep dive really for?
Well, based on the source material itself and just its impact, it's definitely for aspiring entrepreneurs. It provides such a strong mental foundation.
Absolutely. And students of personal development or success psychology?
Oh, it's essential reading. A cornerstone text in that field. You pretty much have to engage with it.
What about professionals who feel maybe stuck or like they need a reset?
Huge value there. If you're looking for a fundamental shift in perspective, a way to reignite your drive, this offers a powerful framework for that mental reset.
So really, it's for anyone interested in mastering their mindset for greater achievement in whatever they pursue.
Exactly, regardless of the specific goal.
Okay, to really drive home some of the core messages, let's maybe share a few of those powerful quotes from the book, the ones that really stick.
Good idea. They really capture the essence.
Let's start with arguably the most famous one. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Simple, but wow.
So simple, yet so profound. It just shatters perceived limitations, doesn't it? Puts the power right back into your own mind.
It really does. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's another one I like. Set your mind on a definite goal and observe how quickly the world stands aside to let you pass.
That speaks volumes about focus, doesn't it? The power of clarity. When you know exactly where you're going, obstacles seem less daunting. Opportunities appear.
It's like your focus cuts through the noise. And one more, a really empowering one. You are the master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be.
That's pure personal agency right there. It's a direct challenge, isn't it? A call to take radical responsibility for your life's direction. Hill doesn't let you off the hook.
Not at all. It's powerful stuff. So bringing this all together, what's our final take?
I think our final verdict has to be that Think and Grow Rich, despite its age and quirks, remains a profoundly powerful classic. It genuinely has transformed millions of lives by teaching that fundamental link between thought, belief, and results.
And its legacy is just undeniable, right? You see echoes of its ideas everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
In modern bestsellers like The Secret, You Are a Badass. Even in the principles behind